Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotment. And today has been a bit of a mixed bag weather-wise, on the chillier side. It's a bit grey now, but it was nice and sunny earlier. So today it's really been like a sort of microcosm of what the weather has been like for the last week or so, up to and over Easter. We had a couple of days last week where we were over 20 degrees, then suddenly we were sub-zero temperatures overnight, and even had a flurry of snow the other day. So classic April stuff really. It doesn't really know what it wants to do. But it hasn't stopped me planting a few things. I've planted some onions today, which will be ready sort of in 3 months or so in the summer. Also some potatoes, and also sown some seeds. Firstly, these little turnips. They come out sort of somewhere between a golf ball and a tennis ball apparently, so fingers crossed for those. Should be sort of middle of the summertime. And also some swede, which I've never really had any success with before, but sowed some of those as well. So it's a bit more for the autumn time really. But of course, while that's all very interesting, and well, I find it interesting anyway, I am here to talk about whiskey. And what is the Allotment Dram today? Well, it's a very new whiskey actually, so new that we actually just received the sample. It was literally announced last week. So here's George the neighbour, hello. And it's the Kilchoman Loch Gorm 2021 edition. And yeah, as I say, it's so new, we literally got the sample yesterday, so pretty exciting. But what can I tell you about Kilchoman? Well, it's right on the west coast of Islay, facing onto the Atlantic. It's a pretty remote spot. Very lucky to have been there a couple of times. And it is, the weather's been dreadful both times actually, but that's certainly not detracted from the place or the whiskey or the location. It's a lovely, lovely place. But relatively new in terms of Scotch whisky. There's obviously now a sort of swathe of new distilleries that have cropped up in the last sort of 5, 6, 7 years or so. But this was really at the forefront of that whole new movement. And submitted plans for the distillery on Rockside Farm in 2002, and the first spirit actually came off the stills in June 2005. So smoky, peaty style, as you would expect from Islay. And they actually make two different sort of strengths of peat in terms of peat level with their spirit, 20 ppm and 55 ppm. Sometimes they release one, sometimes they release other, sometimes they marry them together to create somewhere sort of in between. But very recently things have been going very well for them, which is great. Great to hear. It's family owned, so lovely, the Wills family, who are lovely people. We're lucky to have met them a couple of times on our sort of blogging whiskey journey. But it's been going very well, to the point where they, a year or so ago, they completed quite a major expansion, going from 100,000 litres a year up to 350,000 litres a year. So it's a lovely story. And they even grow some of their own barley, which they release in an expression called 100% Islay, which so it kind of all encompasses. They do traditional floor malting there as well. So a fabulous place. If you ever get the chance, obviously when we're out of COVID times, to visit Islay and Kilchoman, then please do. It's a lovely spot. But what can I tell you about the Loch Gorm? Well, it's an annual release, limited edition, and it was first released in 2012, and this particular, as with all of them, is all sherry cask, 100% Oloroso sherry cask. So in this case, there's 24 Oloroso sherry butts gone into this. These are hand selected and then married together by Anthony Wills. He's the founder, he's the master distiller as well at Kilchoman. So that's resulted in 17,000 bottles, which will be available worldwide. And it's 46%. So non-chill filtered and natural colours, so we like, it ticks all of those boxes that we like. And the bottle, the full-size bottle, obviously not this one, will cost about £70. That's just under $100 US. So very nice for sort of limited edition, but yeah, we've really think we should have a taste now. You know, I've been sort of chatting on for about 5 minutes here, so you know, getting a bit thirsty, it's getting a bit chilly, so I definitely need a little taste of this. So let's have a go. See what we've got. To say 46%, you know, so not too, not cask strength, it's, you know, relatively accessible. Now let's have a smell and a taste. Oh, so immediately you've got this peaty smoky, and it's like a sort of dying embers, like charcoal, bit of sea spray in there as well, but also it's like this embers and sea spray versus, like, there's a pronounced sweetness here. It's like a heather, honey, raisin and sultana. So it's this salty, peaty versus this sweet. Yeah, very interesting actually. And then there's a twist of like orange peel. There's some sort of citrus peel in there as well. Maybe citrus oil. Let's have a taste. It's got a particularly luscious, quite mouth-coating feel. Quite rich. It's the sweetness that comes first actually. This heather, honey, sultana in particular. But then, not far behind, is this peaty, smoky aspect, and quite heavy as well. You know, one of the sort of peatier Kilchomans, you know, sometimes it can be quite mild, so I do wonder if they've got quite a good percentage of that 55 ppm spirit in here actually. And yeah, there's no indication of age, but it feels, you know, fairly youthful, so it's got a good punch to it. And then there's some, now, you know, sort of almost a minute after, some quite robust cereals coming through. So you've got, yeah, wonderful gripping quality. It's like a sort of slightly overcooked oat cookie or biscuit, something like that. Let's have another taste. It's lovely sort of damp, earthy, mossy quality now, with a bit of that sort of charcoal, sort of dying embers feel. A big pinch of spice, you know, the cinnamon, allspice, bit of ginger, you know, the powdered ginger that you make gingerbread with, and also a bit of toasted oak. You know, if you've ever been lucky enough to smell the inside of a whiskey barrel when it's just been charred, it's got a bit of that to it as well. You know, so yeah, delicious. What a great addition to, well, firstly Kilchoman's range, but also this sort of line of releases that have come out every year under the Loch Gorm name. Loch Gorm, by the way, is a freshwater loch which is literally just up the road from the distillery. Literally sits between the distillery and the Atlantic Ocean. So again, a lovely spot, just a sort of big dip before you hit the coast, and it's just filled with fresh water, you know, so that's where the name comes from, Loch Gorm. But yeah, lovely long warm finish as well, you know, so very, very good. Very pleased to have got a sample of this, and there'll be a blog post very soon as well with all of these tasting notes on as well. So yeah, cracking, and not too naughty in the price either. £70, you know, it's not too bad. So I think without further ado, from myself and the Kilchoman Loch Gorm 2021 edition, we'll just get on with a couple more things before we head home. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Cheers.